So, welcome everybody to a new feature I'm doing on propaganda, which is called Tour Baggage. And I have my very first esteemed guest, Lauren Losang, joining me here.
Oh,
How
feel
are you?
privileged. I'm good, mate. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad. Not too bad.
Good.
I've got out of London for a couple of weeks. I'm just hoping it's looking quite positive now, isn't it? I think.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, from what the whispers I've heard and the bits on the news that I've seen. To be honest, I don't watch the news anymore because it depresses
I
the life
can't do
out of
it.
me.
That's why I had to leave.
Um,
It's just too much.
yeah, it's too much, isn't it? But yeah, it's looking quite positive now. The bits that I've seen about not needing the vaccine passport and
Yeah,
stuff, and not needing the negative test before you go in a club as well, which I'm
yeah,
pretty
exactly.
surprised at. But that's massive news if
I
that
think, to
goes
be
ahead.
fair, my friend said this to me the other week. He said Matt Hancock has probably done us the biggest favour,
Yeah,
like
literally.
anyone could possibly have done. Um,
Yeah, definitely.
so yeah, I'm going to kick this off. Basically, the idea of this is that the whole purpose of the group really is to sort of while we're the last few weeks of our downtime. And I should have started this months ago, really, because I've had the idea in my head for ages, and it was to start um, trying to break down the barriers between like artists and fans, and it's sort of twofold, and one of which is to do sort of like productions, tutorial videos, feedback sessions, which I'd love to get you to do as well.
Definitely, yeah. Love to.
And a couple of people um, have asked you to do it as well, so that'll be good for them.
Yeah.
And yeah, and so that's sort of part of it. The other part of it is for artists, and so that's really for more for like the producer centric side of things, because lots of people who come to parties are aspiring artists, but then there are lots of
Yeah.
people who come to parties who aren't, who just like music and like clubbing, um,
Yeah.
and
And they just
so
want to be part of the community, basically.
this is it
Yeah.
exactly. And so the idea really was to give them a bit more of an insight into artists' lives, and what you get up to, and kind of I don't want to dwell on like what you've been doing during the lockdown, because it's almost over,
Yeah, yeah.
and I want to focus on more positive stuff. So like I thought it'd be quite interesting to talk about like life on the road and that kind of thing.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
so
Definitely.
anyway, before we get into it, what have you got planned? What have you got coming up? Once the doors open and everything kicks off, what are you most looking forward to? What's like the first thing you were like, releases,
Um,
gigs, that kind of thing? What you doing?
um, I'm quite looking forward to just getting on a plane and just being somewhere that isn't Liverpool. To be honest, like I
Hmm.
absolutely love my hometown, love it to bits, but um, I feel like I'm in prison a little bit at the
Yeah,
minute. But yeah, I mean, I don't know about yourself, but I don't really love the traveling side of things. But I just love the excitement of. I quite enjoy hotels and stuff, like feeling like I'm on holiday now and
yeah,
again. But I just really enjoy like seeing other cultures and like
absolutely,
meeting new people and stuff. And
absolutely.
like it does get lonely living and working in a studio every
Yeah,
day. And I think that weekend like break like was the bit of kind of networking and socializing that we need
absolutely.
as DJs, because that was kind of like the plus side to being a producer was the
That's it.
weekends, and it's kind of like we've had that taken away. Although obviously we've I feel like we've benefited from like maybe spending more time with family and friends, and
Mm,
being able to do normal-ish things of a weekend has been good.
yeah,
But at the same time, like I just want to fucking get back to
yeah,
normal now. Like it's
exactly.
doing me head in.
I think
Don't
that's the
know about
thing, isn't
yourself.
it? Well, yeah, because I think our business, it's quite solitary. It is quite lonely, and by its very nature, you have to basically sacrifice pretty much everything in life to get what you want to get out of a career as
Yeah,
an artist.
yeah,
And one of those things I've found, I don't know about you, is my kids, friends that I grew up with, and my social life, my growing up social life is zero, non-existent,
yeah,
basically. And
yeah,
so when you're super busy, because you just don't, there's not time, you don't have time.
yeah,
So
yeah,
you get that social interaction by the sort of like international community of artists that you go and maybe you see somebody like 4 or 5 times a year, you play with them, you have a great time, and
Yeah.
that's your sort of social connection. So having that taken away, it's quite like drastic. You suddenly realize like, oh my God, like,
Yeah.
most of my social time is part of my job.
Definitely.
So one of the things that I was thinking before I've written a few questions down that I wanted to ask you, but one thing that really always interests me about people is like reference points. And like, for example, my kind of like the way I got into it was through sort of like drum and bass to start with and stuff like that. Tell us a bit about your like music background and like who were your inspirations before you were an artist, and what made, like, who did you see that made you want to be an artist?
To be honest, my biggest inspirations have been my elder brother and sister,
Oh wow,
Lindsay and Paul. I say this on every interview, and every interview they're like, "Oh my God, you mentioned me." So
amazing.
hello, Lindsay and Paul. But yeah, they're basically like 12 years older than me. My sister is, and my brother is like 18 years older than me. So it's quite a
Wow.
gap.
Yeah.
People say to me, "Were you a mistake?" And I'm like, "No,
Yeah.
I hope not." But whatever, I'm here now anyway. So,
What,
but
so were
yeah,
they like original ravers basically?
yeah, big time, big time.
Amazing.
Like they both still love it, to be honest. Like they
Yeah.
come to the odd gig. Well, my brother's only been to a couple of my gigs, but my sister's been to quite a lot of them. And they both come to like a very special gig, which I'll mention later on. But
Yeah.
I played in Space basically years ago,
Amazing.
for the closing season, and they both
What year
come
was
to
that?
that. The closing. When was the closing
What?
year?
Oh, the
Was it?
actual closing
Yeah,
closing.
yeah. It was the closing.
That
No, it wasn't.
2018.
No, it wasn't the closing event. It was the closing
That
season.
year.
So it,
Yeah.
it was
2018, I
July.
think it was.
Yeah, I played in
Yeah.
July. I think you actually played as well. I'm sure you
Okay.
played that season.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
Um,
that was at Space. Yeah.
yeah,
What did I do there? I
I
can't
think you
remember.
played with Teeny. Did you play with Teeny? Or am I just? I'm sure you did. I think you.
Hazy,
I think
hazy.
you did. No, fair enough. So yeah, my brother and sister. My brother's been massively into like Carl Cox and like.
Yeah.
My sister has been massively into like she loves like all the head
So did
candy
they
kind of
take you
stuff.
out like when you were sort of young and
Um,
probably fake
it was
ID era?
well, yeah, I did used to go out with my sister, but probably when I used to go out at first, I used to just go out when I was like 15, even 14, to be
Yeah.
honest, because I think Scousers were quite good at makeup and like we did
Yeah.
look a bit older than what we
Yeah.
were, do you know what I mean? But yeah, my sister and brother just used to like blast house music in the house like
Amazing.
from a young age. So when I was like a baby and as I was growing up and as they were all like going out and stuff, so
Amazing.
they were going out in like obviously the prime 90s. So
Yeah. The
and there's
golden
yeah,
age.
the golden age, and there's some like really historic venues in Liverpool, like the State and Quadrant Park and things
Hmm.
like that, and the 051. They used to go to all of them,
Right.
and Cream obviously as well. My brother
Yeah.
and sister. My
Is
brother met his
Liverpool,
wife at
sorry, Liverpool
Cream as well.
dialing codes 00151, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah,
the
yeah, yeah,
051 must be really old because it was before
yeah.
0151 came in.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, so old, yeah. I've actually never thought of it like that. I've never seen
Yeah.
that link before, but yeah, you're right. So yeah, I just loved house music because of them. Basically, even like as I was a kid, even in school when I used to have my iPod on
Yeah.
in school, and my friends would be like, "Why do you just listen to dance music all the time?" Like when I was like 12 or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, literally. And I was just like, I just love it. Like I really love it. And it must have been because of my brother and sister. Obviously, then started to go out. And funnily enough, two DJs I used to love when I used to first start going out were, well, they're called Camel Fat now,
Oh
but
yeah.
they were wheeling the Scala back then.
No way.
So
How
so
funny.
I've known them boys for like
I
since I
know
was like
those. I knew
16.
them as
Yeah,
DJs then. I had no idea that's the
yeah,
same. No way.
yeah. Did you know Wheeling the Scala then?
Yeah, well, I
Yeah,
remember the names. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I
Funny.
love them. Like that whole era of funky house. Like
Yeah.
I know you've got the more urban style of funky house, but towards in Liverpool, funky house was house music with
Yeah.
vocals, with big
Yeah.
chords and
And like
everything.
French filtery
Yeah,
disco loops and stuff like that.
yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
loved all that stuff. I absolutely
Exactly.
loved all that
I
stuff.
did. I still love it all, to be
Yeah,
honest.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
I had my 30th birthday last month, and we
Happy
had like a
birthday.
little thing with thank you. We had a little thing with friends, and literally all night we just played Funky
Yeah,
House
the
all night,
classic.
all the old stuff. Yeah,
Amazing.
so that's how we got into it. And yeah, Wheeler and Descala were literally my favorite DJs,
Amazing.
and
So
it's
is that
mad
what you
now.
started playing then? Is that what your first,
Yeah,
like when you
so
started out as a DJ?
yeah, so we used to play all the funky house or tech house, all that kind of stuff. It's always
Hmm.
been like, revolved around house music. I used to play I started to learn how to DJ when I was 11, and then when I was 18, I started to play in all the gay bars in
Oh
Manchester.
yeah, nice.
I used to play in loads of gay bars. I started low life when I was 18 in Manchester, and
You
then
started low life when you were 18.
yeah,
Bloody
yeah, I
hell.
know it should be a lot bigger than what it is really, but
No, no,
I
no. I
think
mean, like that's the thing. Is just like it's more a case of for me. It's not really about that. It's about like building something super solid that you're
yeah,
really proud of. And it
yeah,
doesn't
yeah,
really matter how long it takes to get to because now the profile you've got is you're an international artist now,
yeah.
um, and so it doesn't really matter how long it takes. But it's really impressive when something starts like 12 years ago and
Yeah,
like to see the how it develops and with your
yeah.
sound.
I'd say low life to me has always been a case of like, because when it first started, I used to play like 6 7 hour sets sometimes
Mm,
because I didn't really have any DJ friends back then. I had
yeah,
a couple, but I kind of just quite enjoyed playing long sets, so it didn't bother me. Then I used to get all my friends involved, and we started to like book DJs. But yeah, I just absolutely loved that I had the freedom to play whatever I wanted. So low life to me was always my own platform where I could just do what the hell I wanted, where I wasn't
yeah,
playing for anyone else, where I kind of found my feet with DJing. I could experiment a bit more, and I think it's just been really good for me throughout my career as like a bit of
absolutely.
a
And it's
backbone.
great to have like long DJ sets are the ultimate like training thing you can possibly do, uh,
Yeah,
because it just forces you to like think 3 4 track like strategically. Like now when you
exactly.
get
Yeah,
like an hour and a half, someone says an hour and a half set, you're like, why are they doing that?
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
well, like
Or an hour or
yeah, like
45
yeah,
minutes. 45 minutes, I'm
yeah.
like, fucking hell, is it even worth the
That's like
journey?
that
Like,
is literally how
you know
many
what I
tracks is
mean?
that? That's like uh, 12 tracks. It's about 12 tracks.
Yeah. You know yourself, like it takes a good half an hour to get into it sometimes,
Easily,
especially if you've like
easily.
traveled, you're
If
tired
it's
or
day
whatever.
three, like on a Sunday, and you've
Yeah,
done a Friday and a Saturday gig, and this is
yeah,
the thing, like this is quite nice actually, because this sort of like segues onto my next sort of part of this thing, which is like life on the road. But like having to like yeah, people look from the outside and it looks fantastic and it is amazing, don't get me wrong, but like that day three, if you've got 3 gigs in a weekend and
mm,
you've had a couple of drinks on both of those nights
yeah,
and you when you get picked up at the airport from that moment one when the promoter picks you up, you're not like you've been like paid to fly
yeah,
to somebody's country. You can't turn up and go, "Ugh." You've got
yeah,
to be like happy to
yeah.
be there.
Oh, and if you
Um,
are miserable, they'll remember you for being
of
miserable and
course
they
they
won't book
will,
you again.
exactly. And vice versa, if they remember you for being a really, really good, fun person to be around,
Yeah,
and they'll want to
yeah,
book you,
definitely.
in perpetuity. It's great, that's
Yeah,
kind of what it's about. So I
exactly.
guess that's quite an easy question then to move on to is like, what do you find the hardest part of being on the road?
Um, Without a doubt, it'd be yeah, dealing with like the tiredness and the
Mm,
traveling, and obviously just like delays and stuff, and loneliness, definitely
yeah,
loneliness. Like I love having people with me all the time. Like my
yeah,
partner Sean is always like, fucking hell, you've got to have someone with you all the time. And I'm not like, I'm to be honest, I'm always on my own. Like in the week, I'm always on my own. So
yeah.
when it gets to the weekend, I then don't want to be on my own again.
This
Do you
is
know what
it,
I
isn't
mean?
it?
Like you want someone to go with you. I'm sure like Lauren travels with you and whatever, and
Yeah,
whenever Sean can, she comes with me. But as I'm getting older now, like it was all very exciting at first when I had these great gigs and all my friends were like, "Oh my god, yeah, let's go, let's go."
yeah, yeah.
Now I'm 30, they've all got kids and they're like
They're all,
settling
yeah,
down,
yeah, yeah.
and I'm like,
I've only
"Oh my
got like
god."
3 or 4 pals left who come with me now.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh god, you'll have to share them with me because I don't
yeah,
think I've
yeah,
got
yeah,
any left.
exactly, exactly. In fact, we could come up with quite a good app where like people just be like, "I'm free this weekend. Like, who wants me?"
Yeah. Get
Um,
the propaganda group on it.
yeah, exactly. In
What's it
fact,
called?
yeah, guys on the group, if you're watching, like, just let us know if you want to come.
Yeah,
Okay, so with the travel, I mean, so yeah, the tiredness is a massive thing.
yeah,
Especially now, like we've had this year off because you get like match fit, and if you're doing
yeah.
it week in week out, you get used to the tiredness, especially the jet lag thing. You know,
Mm,
I remember beginning of 2020, early 2019, I was going from like Australia to America to do. You don't get jet lag because you're so tired anyway. You don't
yeah,
know which way's up.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I had I had a couple of gigs in Russia the other week, and I played. It was Friday and Saturday. By that Sunday, I've never been that tired in my time. But I had like good 2-3 hours sleep each night. But like because you're not used to it.
2-3 hours sleep. Is that a good night's sleep for you?
Well, it is after a gig. Do you know what I
Oh,
mean? It's like
yeah,
because I mean, don't forget Russia is massive, so it
yeah.
takes a
Oh
long
God.
time to get between cities.
Yeah, yeah.
It's
God.
not like you can sleep in and get on an hour and a half. Well, I suppose it is. But okay, so what never leaves, and we're not talking record bag now, what never leaves your bag when you're traveling, like like travel accessories or what, like travel tips? Let's hear them.
What never leaves my bag. I've always got a swimming costume stuffed in the front of me
Nice.
case, just in
In
case.
case there's a sunbathing opportunity.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I never leave the house without my iPad, and it has to
yeah.
have loads of films on. And even though I've watched them 500 times, loads of episodes of Friends. Because when I
Really?
feel
That's
lonely,
interesting.
I
Okay.
put Friends on. So like
Oh,
if I
yeah.
like, it makes me feel like homely,
Did
at
you watch that
home. Don't
reunion
know.
the other week?
Yeah. Oh my God, loved it. Absolutely
Chandler.
loved it.
Poor Chandler's in a bit of a state, wasn't he?
Oh God, yeah. He's not even the eldest one, is he? I think he's like, I don't know. Like I think what's her name now? Phoebe, whatever her real name is. I
Yeah,
think she's
yeah.
the eldest, but she looked the best, I thought.
I
I thought
think
she
so,
looked great.
yeah. Yeah, actually,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Um,
Yeah.
okay, yeah. What about your record bag? And like
So
any
my
funky house
record bag.
classics in there you ever play occasionally?
Do you know what? No, I'd be too scared to play them, to be honest with you. But yeah, when I'm traveling, I try to travel as light as possible. So if I do
Yeah,
take records, I'll only take a few, to be honest,
yeah,
or
yeah,
I'll try and rip them onto USB or whatever, just
yeah.
because I just
I'm the
get
same.
anxiety
I'm the
about taking
same.
records
I
away.
totally agree.
And I just think the lighter the better. I don't want to be
Mm.
carrying stuff.
Exactly. I mean, my
And
back,
yeah,
I don't know about you. I'm a few years older than you, but my back now is absolutely destroyed.
oh
So
God,
like,
yeah.
like that's the thing now. I can't carry. I've got to be really. I've got to be so careful.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Um,
definitely. I feel
and
like
I
I'm
think,
starting to get bad knees now because of
oh right,
DJing.
yeah,
Because I think that's because I always tap my leg all the time when I'm
right,
DJing
yeah, yeah,
and
it
like
probably
stood
is.
up, and because when I'm sat here, I like sometimes will sit with like a leg between under my bum, and I get up and I'm like, oh my God, my knee.
Oh yeah, that can't
Like
be.
an old woman.
That it's quite interesting. That's it could be a sign that you might have dyspraxia. I've been
Do you
reading
reckon?
recently.
Yeah.
Like it's people who can't get comfortable if they sit in really odd positions.
Yeah.
Um, it's a form of dyspraxia apparently.
Oh God.
Um, but yeah, what about like not necessarily records, but just like classic tracks that you always have and you like will pull out, let's say at an after party? What's your like after party sort of couple of after
I,
party weapons?
let me have a little think now. You put me on the spot here.
I can come back to that one if
Yeah. Trying to have a think. I don't know. What a tune that I love and that I've played for years, and I'll
yeah.
always play it at a special moment. It's by Rado, and you'll definitely know it. And it says the dream team is here. What is it called
Oh
now?
right.
Oh, what is it called? Do you not know the tune I
No, I
mean?
don't know. I
No.
don't know.
Oh, what is that? I'll have to Google it on my
Yeah,
phone. Go
don't
on, you
worry.
ask me the
Well, no,
next question.
yeah, yeah. I'll tell you what. We'll post it in the thing
Yeah,
afterwards.
yeah, go on.
Um, okay, so what's the sort of best piece of advice that you've received as an artist?
Um, I'd probably say the best piece of advice I've received is just, I don't know, just graft, kind of treat your job as a job a little
Yeah,
bit, work hard, you only get out of it what you put into it, as I'm
yeah,
sure you know
absolutely.
yourself, and try and have as much structure to your life
Yeah,
and a bit of like normal structure.
totally agree.
And I also find it quite important to like switch off in the night time as well. I know a
Yeah,
lot of people like to like work in the night, but I
I
try
can't
and
do that.
do my work nine to
Yeah,
five, like
I'm exactly the same.
a normal job.
Especially if
Yeah,
you've got a partner who's got a normal 9 to 5 job, you kind of like,
exactly. Yeah,
it's important to be in sync with them.
yeah, definitely. I'm the
Yeah,
same. But yeah, I think it's very important also to if I was giving advice to someone maybe watching this, I'd say, you know, it's so important to network and build relationships and stuff.
it's
So important.
arguably more important than anything else, I
Yeah,
think. Because
definitely.
let's assume that the music is good. Let's assume that you're a
Hmm.
great DJ and you're a great producer, because obviously that's essential.
Yeah.
The next most important thing is getting about. Like for me, probably the most important thing I ever did was go to Ibiza for the season.
Yeah.
The people I met there, and the sort of like, yeah, like everything about that, and just going out and going to, actually, like a similar thing for me was when I just moved to London and I was trying to figure out how to break into the scene a little bit, get some gigs. I used to get my hair cut at a place in Ladbroke Grove called 10,500, and the girl who used to cut my hair was a like avid, serious raver, and she basically said like just go to every single party and go every
Hmm.
time it's on, and the more
Yeah.
you go, the more you'll, people just start recognizing you, and it just, especially if you don't, I'm not from London, and so
Yeah.
it was different. It was it's
Where
not,
are you from?
I'm from originally I'm from South Wales.
Oh, yeah, I didn't
Yeah,
know.
I've grown up all over the country really.
Yeah.
But I moved to London when I was 18,
Yeah.
and just sort of like just it's if you're not native to the city, it's quite difficult to break into the scene, because especially
Definitely.
like, the friends, my friends that I went to university with and stuff like that weren't really into. They are now, but they weren't into it as much then. And so it's not as easy as just going to like your three best mates, well, let's go to a rave. It's like no one wants to go with me. So like you
Yeah.
kind of have to go out. Like even if you, I think I saw a question about this the other day about someone saying, should you go to parties on your own? Definitely, 100%.
Yeah. Yeah.
If
Definitely.
but it's intimidating. It's
Yeah. Yeah.
scary.
I think I'd be too scared as a girl to go to a party on my own, but I think as a boy it's more okay, which is
Maybe
weird. But
that's a good point actually. Yeah, I mean, I
yeah.
think. Do you think that's changing a little bit? There's certainly more
Um.
focus. Like I've seen in clubs, that there's sort of, not that it makes a huge amount of difference, but there are signs up now saying like if you are behaving inappropriately, you will be removed immediately. Do you think things are changing or not?
As in like for girls and stuff.
Yeah. Do you think it's a safer place for girls to go now? I know that there is a,
Uh.
we're trying to change that.
Yeah. I think, I'll be honest with you, I still feel the same about it. I
So
don't
yeah.
think yeah, like even me now DJing,
Mm,
I even if the hotel is like, well, the promoters love saying it's a 5 minute walk, but it never is. It's
right.
always like
Yeah.
20 minutes. And if you're finishing a set at like 4 in the morning,
Yeah.
I get a bit paranoid sometimes, thinking, what if someone
Fair
follows
enough.
me back to the hotel? Do you know what I
Absolutely.
mean?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I always
Yeah.
say to the promoter, will you just walk me back?
Yeah. That's a good point.
If it's walking distance. So I
Yeah.
don't know. And especially when I'm in another country as well, I just think, I don't know the area or anything. I don't know anyone. Like, something happened to me. I don't know if that's just like my dad being protective when I was young, and I'm quite like,
He's right to be though.
yeah, I'm quite like streetwise in a
Yeah.
way. But like I like that I'm like that, because it definitely makes me safer in my job, I think,
Definitely.
with all the
Definitely.
traveling.
It's
But
something.
yeah,
Yeah. We all need to be conscious of it, really.
definitely.
I
But
think
yeah,
guys, you don't really appreciate how intimidating like girls can find situations in
yeah,
clubs. I think, yeah, it's definitely something that we all need to just be a lot more aware of, and also keeping your eyes open to other,
yeah.
if things are happening.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I mean, like when I'm in clubs and stuff, I'm fine. Like I'm not intimidated by people. I'm quite like a tough nut. So I mean, if someone gives me shit or anything, I'll just be like, fuck off. Like, you know what I
Hmm.
mean? I'm a scouser, don't take no
Yeah,
shit. But like
yeah,
obviously
yeah,
if I'm on my own, and yeah, you just need to obviously be aware of your surroundings and drunk
absolutely.
people and stuff, and people can just be dickheads sometimes. But as long as like, that's why it's important to play for, decent promoters as well, so they look
Yeah.
after you. Because you know, I'm sure you've played the gigs where, I mean, I've played gigs where people have been like on kit and been
Yeah,
driving. Like,
yeah.
I hope my mum doesn't watch this, but like I didn't know until I got out of the
Yeah,
car.
yeah.
And he was like, "Oh yeah, I've been on the kit last night," and
God.
I'd like literally just been on, and I was thinking, you
Are
could
you,
have just killed me. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
just yeah, it's just
Yeah, I've been
madness,
in
isn't
some
it? But
fucking terrifying situations, to be honest.
I bet you know.
Yeah. So
Sometimes you
what,
think, "How am I alive?"
yeah, well, that's it. I mean, God, I've got like, I remember once in Serbia, a guy
Okay.
drove me back to the, like, left the after party, drove me to the airport. He was like, come on, let's go. And I was like, okay, cool. He's just going to walk me to the car. No, he got in the car, drove to the airport. He had to pull over to throw up because he was that drunk. I was like, oh,
Oh,
God almighty, just get me there now.
oh my
There's
God.
another time when a lot of this stuff tends to happen in Eastern Europe, actually. There was another one where we were late for the they were going to be late for the flight, and there was a road up to the motorway that then takes to the airport. So we're driving up here. Let's say the airport's here, and so you had to get here to get onto that road to get to the airport. There's a big field there, and he was in a 4x4. He was just like, fuck it, just pulled off, literally drove through a hedge,
Oh
and
my
then drove
God.
over the field, and
Oh
then
my
like,
God.
what the fuck is
Fucking
going on here?
hell. Oh
Mad.
my God. Fucking hell. Yeah, it's
Um,
can be quite scary.
yeah, yeah, it's mad out there. So what do you think? I mean, sort of just going off the back of the previous question, what is the most difficult thing you've had to overcome in your career to date?
Um, well, it's quite. I was thinking about this before, and you know, I think it's quite an easy one, and it would be COVID, without a
Right,
doubt.
yeah,
This
yeah,
this
yeah,
pandemic.
yeah,
Yeah, obviously, like at the very beginning, like when the government were trying to say retrain and all that shit, I think it was just madness, wasn't it? And like even it was hard for me because like I have people who I've known for years who are a little bit older and like have been DJs and stuff in the past, and they
mm,
were telling me that I should get another job, and I thought, no, mate, I'm not getting
yeah,
another job. Like this is my job. Like
yeah, yeah,
I'm nestled in, and
yeah,
I'm going with it. Do you know what I mean?
exactly. I
And I'm
think
just
also,
glad.
for your, I'd say for yourself as well, like a lot of us feel like this really should have been like our year because
Yeah,
I think we're of the generation now where um, it's kind of our time to sort of step
hmm
up to that top level,
yeah,
and
yeah.
to have that sort of snatched out of your like reach, like it's just
It's
horrendous,
horrible, isn't it?
absolutely horrendous. And I don't know
I
how's your like anxiety levels and stuff like that been over the last year,
to be
would you say?
honest, I've never ever suffered with anxiety. Really. On I do get a little bit anxious now and again. Like I like maybe even like before I'm gonna go traveling or something, but only
Mm.
like mildly. I wouldn't say I suffer from anxiety, but I have had a few moments where I've just like been really angry,
This
and like
year,
I was
yeah.
yeah, and like it was the first lockdown, to be honest, and I was that angry, and I just smashed my
Mm.
phone on the floor,
Yeah,
brand new iPhone
yeah,
11. I
yeah.
just went fuck off like that, and like Sean was next to me, I think she was like, what's going on? And I
Mm.
was just like, I just like had a meltdown. I was like, what? Because I'm very good at putting on a brave face, and I'm very
Yeah,
like sarcastic and jokey, and like I like to make people laugh and stuff. And like I think when she saw that I was kind of like
actually angry. Never sees
breaking
you
down
angry.
a bit, she's
Yeah,
never really sees me like that, and I think it just all built up. Do you know what I mean?
yeah,
But you know, onwards and upwards, and since then I've been all right. But it's I mean it's been tough, as I'm sure it has for you and everyone
yeah,
maybe watching this. But
yeah.
yeah,
I think it's shone a pretty stark light on like how we as artists can't rely solely on touring as a source of
yeah,
revenue anymore.
yeah,
Um,
definitely.
and I know it's sort of like in discussion at the moment, in not like currently, but in Parliament, they're talking about like streaming and how we should be paid more fairly. I think, the royalty system is so outdated and so weighted in favor of commercial artists. Like
Yeah.
we really don't get paid in kind for our music.
hmm
Um, so I mean, I think that, yeah, that's just definitely something we all need to work on. We need to sort of like come up with an idea, or just like put
hmm
pressure on the powers that be
Yeah.
to sort of
Like even Spotify and stuff, like the streams, you get F all from that, don't you?
p a
It's
play. A
pathetic.
million plays
It's
is like
pathetic.
two grand. Like
And
it's
and and their arguments probably, well, you're not getting enough streams, but it's like collectively, all these people who don't get enough streams are getting enough streams, so you should be splitting the revenue. Do you know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah,
It's like
exactly.
saying you're not big enough, so you don't matter. You're not getting enough.
Yeah,
But yeah, it's mad, absolute madness. Like,
yeah.
hopefully something will change. I think it will.
Well, yeah, there's this. We sort of spoke about it briefly before, but like I see NFTs as quite a good thing for artists in terms of getting paid. And
Yeah,
I'll
definitely.
sort of like briefly explain for people who are watching it and don't know what they are. Basically, the idea is that if put it into context of buying records. Like, let's say you make a record and you sell it for £7. That if that record then gets sold on, if like stuff goes on Discogs and someone like Ricardo plays it and it's suddenly worth 80 quid, 150 quid or whatever, then the original artist never gets paid a penny if that record gets resold.
Yeah.
But basically NFTs, every time the record gets sold on, the artist get paid a percentage of that forever.
Yeah.
And so that I see as like a way for artists to actually make money again, and it's also a really nice way for fans to like collect stuff again, because part of the way that the music industry has gone in the last sort of 10 or so years is it's so like fast food now, like whereby not as many not many people buy not as many people buy vinyl, and so we're in the position now where we like have to put records out, loads, like tons of records, to sort of keep. But I think that's just a symptom of society as well, isn't it? It's like people want stuff now. I don't know, because how long have you been running your label for? It didn't start when you started the party, right?
No. So actually, I've got two labels. I've got 11 Records as well. I started 11 first, so I started that now. I think maybe like 5 years ago. Started 11 with Sean, my partner. So we
Oh,
both run that
nice.
together. Started that 5 years ago, and I started Low Life maybe 3 years ago.
Right.
I just felt like that was like the next move for Low Life, really. Yeah, so like just 3 years ago, it's not that long ago, really.
Yeah. And so how have you found like having your own, why did you start the label in the first place, and how have you found having your own like platform as a
So uh so starting the label with Sean, it was pretty organic because both of us, well, Sean used to DJ a lot more than she does now. She's like
right?
super busy flying in the job she does now at the moment. And it's a good job because she's had to help me out quite a lot in this lockdown. So
Right, yeah.
big thanks to Sean, and a normal job. But yeah, so we started 11 Records organically like about 6 years ago. Because we both love the same music. We were both like playing the same, very similar music out. I've always wanted to start a record label. I'm obsessed with the number 11, and I was like 11
Why
Records, and she was
why the
like,
number
yeah.
11?
It's just, I feel like the number is, not to be like one of them freaks who just goes on about like spiritual things, which I am a little bit spiritual, but I just think that number's brought me a lot of luck. There's loads
Yeah.
of stories I
Is
could
it
tell
something that
you.
you see a lot, like in life
Yeah,
everywhere?
yeah, but I feel like if you're looking for something, you will see it. So I kind of get why people be like, well, you're looking for that number, so you're going to see it. But there's been so many situations where like the number 11 has come up, and it's meant to be like your guardian angel guiding you and everything. And yeah, I just quite like the energy around that number, really.
Yeah.
I've actually got it tattooed on my arm as well.
Right.
So I think my headphones might die out here. 1 second. Let me just try and pop these in. One's working anyway. So yeah, we started that label like 6 years ago, and that was just digital only.
Yeah.
And we kind of wanted, our idea behind that was, at the time when we started the label, we wanted to sign music that it seemed to be only released on vinyl, but we wanted to release it on digital to make it more accessible. Because I know now on Beatport there's a lot of music which is very samey and like chordy and groovy and minimally kind of stuff. and I do feel like it's a lot more saturated now, but back then, 6 years ago, there wasn't a lot of new labels that were like reeling out that kind of sound. So
Yeah.
we kind of wanted to release what we were playing, which was like records kind of stuff onto digital formats, because we thought, I know vinyl's great, I love vinyl, but we just wanted to make the music accessible and as accessible as possible for people worldwide.
Absolutely.
And you know, I think it was the best thing we did. And then with Low Life, I started that because I just felt like it was like the opposite scale really. I wanted to start a vinyl label.
Nice.
I wanted Low Life to
So
be
one's
more.
digital and one's vinyl.
Yeah, so Low Life's both actually, but it's vinyl first. But I just like the collector aspect of it,
definitely.
and I just feel like it's good for people to be able to like feel and see it, and you know, I just think it's really good for like a brand as well to have like a vinyl label, you know, and as obviously, apart from having, you know, your music on record, you're going to reach more people if you do vinyl and digital, obviously, because there's some people who just wouldn't play digital, they'd rather play vinyl. And it was nice to like, you know, go into record stores and like see Low Life in there and stuff. It just, you know, all of it's like great marketing, great PR, and it's just really good overall.
I think also where like you've got like a varied taste in what you play and what you like, it's because obviously you buy both vinyl and you buy both digital, so it's important, I think, to like access the fans of both markets. Do you know what I mean? Not just you know, it's a sort of it's nice to have like a foot in both worlds, if you know what I mean. What's happened there? Your left one's gone dead.
Left one's gone. I'm charging it.
Oh, right,
minutes.
nice.
I'll put it back in a minute. Yeah, so I've just got my right one in now. But yeah, she'll be all right. But yeah, definitely.
Okay, cool. Right, we've got some questions from people here. We've got like about 20 minutes left, so I might save them to later. I've got other stuff that I wanted to ask you first, and I thought we'd do the other questions at the end. So what have you got coming up on both labels?
So for 11, we've just had a release with a guy called Distilled Noise, who, if people are looking for production tips, they may have already heard of him actually, because he's like a little YouTube star, really. Well, I call him a YouTube star. And he puts out some really, really good tutorials, and that's how I found him, to be honest. It's through flicking through tutorials, and he was actually doing a tutorial on a track, and I thought, fucking hell, that's a sick tune. And so I messaged him, I got in touch with him. I was like, has anyone signed this track? I really would like to sign it. And he was like, no, yeah, like I'd love to sign it. So this was like a year ago, over a year ago now, and it's a very summery tune. I've probably sent it to you, I'm not sure. Midnight Experience it's called.
Okay.
I ended up doing a remix of it.
Nice.
A guy called Suki did a remix on the EP, an Australian guy. So we've just had that out recently, and we wanted that to be out in summer. A bit unfortunate that things aren't like open and everything, but so we've just released that one. We've got
you'll get some sunshiny opportunities to play some tunes this summer though.
Yeah, no, I think so, yeah. And there's a lot of, you know, people have sent us videos and stuff of like in America and all that, where they've been playing it and all that, which is nice. And Faye plays it in Amsterdam at the weekend, so it's just good to see people.
How good did that look? Bloody hell, so jealous of that.
Didn't it?
Oh, so might have to move to Amsterdam.
I know. The annoying thing is though, that literally could have been us 2 weeks ago if bloody Boris would have just let us open, couldn't it? Yeah. On that opening weekend, I was like, oh my god, I feel like I need to like drown my sorrow.
What are you doing that opening weekend then? Just we'll go back to the label schedule in a minute, but just
Yeah, so that the opening weekend, it's the 19th, isn't it?
Yeah, 19th is
the 19th.
And then that weekend.
So, but then there's the 24th, is it?
That'd be the Friday or Saturday, yeah.
Yeah. So the 24th, I was actually a gig that got cancelled was trying to move it to that 24th date, but I've actually got a big night out planned in London with like all my best mates from school, like all the girls. Basically,
what day is that? On the Saturday or the Sunday?
On the Saturday.
Okay,
so we were going.
Nice.
We were actually going to London. We were going to see Enzo play his all night set.
Right.
And I was just going to be a raver, to be honest.
Right. Okay. Nice.
But yeah, we're still going out. But I think the fabric set's been rescheduled. I'm not sure why.
Yeah, that's that weekend. Oh,
Yeah,
Enzo.
I
Sorry,
know.
yeah. Enzo's had to move. Well, because they wanted to do the fabric opening party on that weekend instead. So
Oh,
his
yeah,
dates I
fair enough.
think been moved to August. I'm not too sure.
So Fabric's still open then.
Fabric's still
That's good
opening
news
party.
for us.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Okay, so I'll be going to Fabric as a clubber. I won't be DJing that
Nice,
weekend.
nice.
I
Yeah.
had loads of gigs to be honest for the original opening weekend. I had Circus and Low Life, which sold out in
On
like
that, yeah.
6 minutes or something. Like it was going to be
God,
amazing.
it would have
I
been
think we had
biblical.
Terminal as well.
Oh,
Oh,
nice. So
honestly.
what have they all
But
been
that's it.
rescheduled then?
Yeah, back to August now. I
Okay,
can't
fine,
remember off the
fine.
top of my head, but maybe it's the 11th,
Yeah,
around the 11th or 12th of August, I think it
yeah.
is.
We'll
But yeah,
come
just
to. You
before
better
just
come to
in touch
Fabric
with
then
that.
for a big knees up.
I know, I'll have to. What are you doing on that weekend? Have you
I'm
got
playing at
much
Fabric.
planned? Are you playing?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Oh, get me on the guest
yeah.
list.
I'll put you on the guest list.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I'm glad we had this chat now.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
I'm playing on the
Excellent.
Saturday
Yeah,
night,
well,
and
we'll definitely
then I'm
come to
probably.
that.
Well, yeah, I'm playing the Saturday night, and then it stays open till like Monday afternoon, I think. So I'm just gonna
Oh, my,
finish
oh
that
my
and then
God.
put my
Messy
raving
one.
shoes on.
Oh, how mad's that? How mad's that you're going to be there and I'm going?
Yeah, yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah. I'll probably be a mess. No, I won't really. I'll be all right. Even if I
I
am a
think
mess
no,
doing
there's
after.
definitely gonna be like tears of joy and
Oh
whatever.
my
It's like
God, definitely.
can you imagine what that feeling's gonna
Oh,
be like? It's gonna be unbelievable.
it's going to be unbelievable. Well, I played at the pilot event, didn't I, in Liverpool
Oh, but yeah.
for
What was
Circus,
that like?
and
Oh,
I
you
ended up
cried. I
crying my
saw the
eyes
video.
out,
Yeah,
didn't
yeah,
I?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
So you've
I
got it
would have
all to
cried.
come, mate. Honestly, you've got it
Yeah.
all to come. Honestly,
God.
it
What
was
was that
very,
like
very
then?
emotional. It was
Yeah.
unbelievable. Yusuf played just before me, but he played like the opening set when like obviously it went from nobody being there to like the crowd slowly filtering in.
Yeah.
And as I got there, it was starting to get busy. I come on and I literally I knew I was gonna get upset. Like I just knew
Mm.
I knew I was gonna get upset, but I didn't realise I get upset on my first tune.
Yeah, yeah,
And I
yeah.
played this
What was
track with
it?
like a really, do you know? I think is it called? I don't know whether this might be the label, but it's called like Dust E. It's something that I found on Bandcamp, and
Right, okay.
it's like a vinyl label which sells digital as well. I can't
Yeah,
remember
yeah.
off the top of my head. It's like some mad name. It's like 3 letters or something.
Okay.
But I played that. It was like a really. I'll put it in the group for you as
Yeah,
well.
yeah.
So it was just like a really euphoric 90s like
Nice.
slow build pad with like
Nice.
loads of strings in, and as soon as
Yeah,
I
yeah.
hear a string makes me yeah, I was literally a fucking mess, mate. Honestly,
Yeah.
I was started to cry, and I was like, "What do I do?" Like I'm on stage and I'm crying,
What
and obviously I've
camera?
got makeup on. I've got
Oh
makeup on,
yeah,
and I'm
of
like, "Oh my
course.
God!" It went like that, and like
God.
Sean was behind me, and I was like, "Get me some tissues," and she was like, "Oh God," she
What,
was
she was
crying
crying as
herself.
well. Oh
Yeah,
my God, brilliant.
honestly, everyone was like, even
I
do
bet.
you know Rich McGuinness who runs
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Circus?
yeah.
Even he's been crying.
Was
He
he in
come over, he
bits?
was like, he gave me a big hug, and I was like, mate, I said, I've just been crying. He was like,
Yeah, yeah,
Lauren, look at me. Like
yeah.
literally the whole room, like
God.
it was like there was a proper moment. It was
Yeah.
mad. It was just like
Wow.
the maddest thing. But you've got it all to come on that
That's it.
weekend,
But that's
honestly.
what it's, that's the thing, isn't it? Is that people, I'm sure from the outside, and you see some of the comments on there, the people going like, "How irresponsible!" Blah, blah. I'm like, you lot have
Uh,
no fucking idea what you're missing in life.
no,
And I sit there
no,
sometimes. I
no.
used to sit there on the tube sometimes, like you come back from Fabric like 7, 8 in the morning, and everyone's going to work, and I'm just looking at the people going, "You've got no fucking idea what you're missing, do you? You've got no fucking
Exactly.
idea."
No, honestly, well, I had like a couple of people on Twitter like saying shit to me, like
Yeah.
there were so many lovely comments, and then just got like one dickhead who was like
Oh,
saying, "Oh fucking hell, she's crying to the cameras,"
oh
and I
my
thought,
God.
what? Like, what would I get
Oh,
out of that? Do you know what I mean? And like
wow.
this idiot actually went on my Instagram and saw that I posted the video where I was crying, and he was like, "See, she's even posted it
Oh,
on her Instagram. She's trying to get likes." And I thought,
do
"You're a
me a
dick, mate."
favor.
Like,
Honestly.
but like, I didn't even have to speak up for myself because everyone was just like, "Listen, mate,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I was crying, and I wasn't even there, so shut up."
Yeah,
Do you know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah,
But
yeah.
yeah, there's just some dicks, isn't there? I
Oh,
think, especially in
unreal.
this pandemic, there's
And
just
you know
loads of
what?
angry people.
And especially, I have to say, but for girls, and you'll see
Yeah,
it with like, when
yeah,
like Nastia plays or Nina plays, and it's
hmm
just like,
yeah.
she's not even got the CDJs turned on. It's like, what?
Uh,
What are you on about? Like, what
honestly,
the fuck are you on about?
I get it all the time, Archie, honestly. Like
Really?
before I do a stream, a DJ set, like even during the pandemic and everything, like when I did a Beatport one, I have anxiety
Oh,
thinking about looking at the comments, and I
yeah,
can't not look at them. And
yeah,
when I
yeah.
see them, and if someone says something nasty, if people have like stuck up for me, I kind of just like laugh it off and I just leave it.
Mm,
But like sometimes if people say something nasty, I can't not say
yeah.
something. But like I'm not nasty. I just kind of like try to make them feel like a tit. Do you know
Yeah,
what I
good.
mean? But
Yeah,
then I
yeah,
think
yeah.
I shouldn't be speaking back
Don't
on people
even
because that's what
fucking
they want me to
engage.
do. You
Just
know what I
don't
mean? Yeah, that's what they
engage.
want you to do. So I am
Yeah.
getting better with it. Like I think when it was still new and fresh, that whole like people giving you shit. I mean, I say that as if I get loads of shit. I don't get loads, but I will get the odd person, and
Mm.
especially if something's on YouTube or whatever. Like you said before about the decks not being turned on. My Creamfield set of YouTube, I had two fellas saying that the decks weren't turned on, and that the sync button was on. That was
Oh
it.
my
I was
God.
like, the sync button was on, really? Honestly,
Wow.
guys, you won't believe it.
Yeah.
And I literally, I actually replied to him, not nastily, I just said, mate, I could DJ with my eyes closed.
Yeah,
Come
yeah,
and watch
yeah.
me DJ. Do you know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah,
So
exactly.
fuck off, you cheeky
I'll give
bastard.
you a guest list. You come and watch.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. But yeah, we definitely do get more shit girls. Like
Yeah, I think so.
when I did the stream live for Creamfields, I think because obviously Creamfields is known for like a lot of EDM and stuff as well. People were tuning into my set and they were going,
Mm.
"Oh fucking hell, boring, snore."
Yeah, yeah.
Like,
But here's
oh,
the thing, like
just
everyone's
turn it
allowed their
off.
opinion, right? Everyone's like, okay. It's the
Yeah,
same for me with the
yeah,
whole like anti-tech house movement or
yeah,
anti-EDM movement, whatever, right? Okay.
yeah.
You don't have to listen. You don't have to go to the show, do you? So, like,
Hmm.
sure, everyone's allowed their opinion, but why would you
Yeah.
waste your time writing something going, "This music's boring"? Well, don't fucking listen to it then. I don't listen to
Exactly.
your horrendous.
I know.
Listen. I'm the same, right? I'll go on YouTube and I'll look at comments on my productions because
Yeah,
I like to know that people are enjoying what I'm doing. And if I'm going down
yeah,
because I like making all kinds of music, right? And if I go
yeah.
down a bit of a more melodic or proggy avenue, and people are like,
Mm.
"This is fucking whack," then I'll be like, "Oh, I might stop doing that." And it's a nice
It's
little,
feedback,
right?
isn't
Yeah,
it?
exactly.
Yeah.
But then when someone was on one the other day and they're like, "This is fucking shit," and then someone's written, "No, it's not, mate. What? Please tell me what you're into." And the stuff that he
Oh,
posted was like, "Mate, that's not even house music. What are you on about?"
honestly, it's a joke, isn't it?
It's mad.
Just some people have just got too much to say,
Too
too
much
much
time,
time
and
on their hands.
especially during the pandemic because they're all sat at home on their phones.
Oh God, they're so
Yeah,
angry. But I think people just think that we're not going to see them comments. But if any of you nasty people are watching this, we
yeah,
will
we
see the
do. We
comments and
will.
we
Yeah,
see them and we're going to
exactly.
fight back.
Yeah, exactly,
Yeah,
exactly.
I know.
Um, I'm just slightly conscious of time. We've got
Go
eight
on,
minutes
yeah,
left, and I just want
go
to
on.
make sure. Just bear with me that I'm going to cover everything I want to ask you. So pretty much yes. Oh yeah. So I cut you off on your release schedule. So let us know
Oh
what you've
yeah.
got coming up, and then I'll move on
Yeah.
to questions from the people.
So quickly, we've got a VA coming up, a very special VA with 11 records. It's our 11th release, and obviously, with it being called 11 records, it's got to be a special one. We've got artists such as, I haven't mentioned this anywhere, by the way, so this is like an
You heard it here
exclusive.
first.
We've got like Jabali, Coco, Michael James,
Nice.
Casey Spillman, me, and Sean have actually done a collab
Oh,
together.
nice, wicked.
Yeah, we've sat in the studio and we've been arguing. Don't put that in there. Yeah, so
I'd
we've
love to
done
be
a
on
tune
fly
together.
on the wall for that. Hey,
Yeah,
next time you do a collab together, can we live stream it and watch you two
yeah.
arguing? That'd be
Oh God,
hilarious.
yeah, yeah. God, we'll definitely get some comments then. So we've got that like 11 artists, Rich Next on it as well. Trying to remember all the names on the top of my head. The rest can be a surprise. And then we've got a amazing EP coming out from DJ Stu, who I
Yeah,
absolutely I love the bones of
he's the
DJ Stu.
bomb.
He's unbelievable,
Yeah,
isn't he?
yeah, he's amazing.
He's amazing. He
His
should be
his
so
mix
much bigger than
downs,
what
his
he is.
like yeah, like his mix downs and
Yeah.
like the sound of the sonics of his music is just unreal.
Oh,
What? So how did that link? How did that link up happen? Because he would you say he's been a sort of mentor to you at all, or just like oh you? Have you frozen?
Oh, I can
Back.
see you now. I can see you now.
All right.
Yes, back.
Yeah. So I was just asking, like, if so DJ Stu, would you say like what? How did that was that connection made? Would you say he's a bit of a sort of mentor, studio production wise?
Um, so basically, I was just playing his stuff in I played his stuff in Ibiza in space that time when I
Mm.
played, and I posted a video, and the video ended up like going quite viral because COD fucking thinking about COD here. Um, Carl Cox come out when I was DJing and had a low life shirt on, and like the
Oh,
crowd went like
nice.
mad, and I posted a video of that moment, and I was playing a DJ Stu tune. So Cynthia comments on the Facebook post and tagged DJ Stu. And since then, we've always been in touch. He was asking me for music. I ended up
Mm.
doing a release on like Rutland's House
Hmm.
Puff. And then he's done like a remix for me on Low Life. And he has just done the recent EP for Low Life as well, which I've remixed. And we've played quite a bit together and we're just like really good friends. What you say about the mixing as well. He's actually done some mix downs for me in the
Yeah.
past, and he's amazing, and he's so quick. He's
Oh,
unbelievable.
really?
Yeah, he's really really good. And so yeah, I've definitely learned a lot from him, music wise, and I'd say he's a big inspiration for me as well. I'd
Yeah.
say like I play a lot of his stuff. I feel like his music's perfect because it's like it's deep and it's
And it's
classy,
pumping.
but it's still for the dance floor,
Yeah.
and that's
Yeah.
kind of the vibe I want to make and try to make. But obviously I love the deeper stuff as well. But it's nice to have the dance floor in mind sometimes, especially
Totally.
when you're a DJ and you want to play your own tunes. So
Absolutely.
yeah,
Um, right, so I'm just going to move on to
go on.
questions from the group. So, do you ever get writer's block when producing? And if so, how do you overcome it?
Um, yeah, I do get writer's block, and I find sometimes the way to overcome it is to either buy a new plugin, get a new synth.
Yeah.
I mainly use VSTs, to be honest. I don't have much
Hmm.
hardware anymore. I sold quite a lot of it. I would listen to some music, watch some
Mm.
tutorials on YouTube. That's a massive one.
Yeah,
Teach yourself something new, because once you know something new, you get that buzz and you want to try it out
absolutely.
yourself. Or last but not least, have a break and
Get
just
out, go for a walk, get some fresh
yeah,
air. That's my
go
number
for a
one.
walk, go to the
Yeah,
gym, do something.
yeah,
Just get out of the room or change your environment as well. Like, so
yeah.
if you're working from a laptop, I don't know what it is about this studio. Like, I love this studio and I've made some great tunes in it, but sometimes, when I just take my laptop to the kitchen and just literally have like my
Just your
Bose speaker
headphones.
there,
Yeah, oh,
I
you've
can
both
make really good
speaker.
tunes.
Nice,
Like,
nice.
literally, but obviously I'll mix it down in here
Yeah, yeah,
or on me like my studio headphones. But yeah, I can literally just sit in the kitchen and make
yeah.
a decent tune. And I feel like it's because like my kitchen's quite bright and like open, and it's just a
Right.
different environment really.
Yeah,
Or collab with people.
yeah,
Another good shout. To be honest, I haven't collabed with many people because there's not really anyone in Liverpool who makes my sound, to be honest.
yeah.
So
Right,
I
yeah, yeah.
struggle with that. I
Yeah,
think if
you
I
are
lived
you
in
are kind
London,
of on your own to that extent in Liverpool, aren't you?
yeah, I think I do kind of feel like I've missed out from not living in London, because I feel like if I did live in London, I kind of would have been rubbing shoulders with people who was like playing the same music and making the same tunes as me,
Mm,
because I could never like go and see Casey Spillman or whatever, even though like I'm mates with them, but like I
yeah,
could not go out for a drink with them. Do you know what I mean?
yeah,
Whereas
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
I'm just like in Liverpool or whatever. So I think that's where I have missed out maybe a little bit, but at the same time, like I see everyone when I'm DJing with them. So
That's it. It goes back to that touring thing. I mean, look, I live in London. Do I see people
yeah,
and hang out with them outside of parties? Not really.
mm,
I wish I
yeah, fair
did,
enough.
but you get to a point when you're like, I've got so many projects, I've got so many label projects, and making tons of music and bits of engineering here and there, and between that and like touring, the only
Yeah,
time I really have left is for my partner, for Lauren, is our time in the
yeah,
evening. So
yeah, fair
you,
enough.
you know, but I think when you're starting out and you're younger, it's definitely important to kind of be amongst other producers who are making a similar
Definitely,
sound. And
definitely,
actually,
yeah,
just to sort of plug what we're doing here with propaganda, this is the sort of
yeah,
online version of you know, connecting people and stuff that you ordinarily would do if you go out to parties and things like that.
Yeah.
But okay, so 1 more minute, and last question is: do you find it hard to balance DJing, the job, and partying? Because the two generally go.
No, can you still hear me, by the way?
Yeah, that sounds
Yeah.
great.
Does that sound better? No, I don't find it difficult at all, because I've never really like, don't get me wrong, I have a good time, and you know, as everyone does, I party and stuff, but I am pretty good with kind of staying grounded and
Yeah.
knowing when to call it a night. And
Because
I've
it is
never really
very
been like
important, right?
yeah, definitely. And I've never really been a big after party goer either. Like obviously on special occasions with my friends and stuff, like my best mates, but I think you need to be careful, because if you're touring every week, you don't want to be making every weekend a party.
No, exactly.
Because it is your job. And as you say, if you do have, you know, obviously as starting off, you may not be that busy, but once you do start to get like 2-3 gigs on a weekend, maybe even sometimes like a few gigs in the same day, you don't want to be absolutely fucked for them. Like,
no way. And then also,
it,
you know, it then kills your inspiration for the week. You know, when you get into the studio, and you're,
yeah,
you know, if you've had 2 or 3 nights of partying in a row, you're not going to
yeah,
work
exactly.
that week. You know, maybe by Thursday you'll be ready to go in the studio, but then you're off the next
Yeah,
day.
yeah. Like even with the traveling, you're tired, aren't you, on the Monday,
Yeah,
Tuesday? And
exactly.
sometimes you don't feel like making music, so
Exactly.
you don't want to then have to, you know, come off some bloody come down or something
Yeah,
every
exactly.
weekend. But yeah, I think it's just good to just like stay grounded, be sensible, and obviously like enjoy yourself. And you know, you're around like drink and everything else quite
Yeah.
often, but it's just good to kind of keep a head on you and just realize that, you know, if you want to be in it for the long run, you've got to, you know, take your time with
That's
everything.
it. Totally agree. Well, that's a pretty
Yeah.
good question to end on, I think. So we'll call it a day. But thank you so much for coming on. Been really nice to chat. It's probably the longest we've ever chatted. You know,
Literally,
not like
yeah.
outside of a very
Yeah.
loud nightclub.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you so much for having me on,
Oh, it's
Archie.
a
I've
pleasure.
literally, if this will inspire people as well, I have, not to make you go ready, I have loved Archie for years, and the fact that I'm sat here talking to him as an artist is quite a big deal to me. So anyone watching there, just, you know, keep doing what you're doing, and
That's great to
you could
hear.
be next.
That's great to hear. Well, it's a real pleasure having you on, and I'm loving everything you're doing, and
Oh,
it's
thank you, mate. And you.
great to see you like really building momentum now.
Thank you, mate. And I'll see you at Fabric.
Yeah, I'll see you at Fabric, and also will you come and do a feedback session for us?
Yeah, of course. Yeah,
Wicked.
just let me know whenever.
Nice
All right,
and
mate.
also, let's watch you guys argue in the studio. That'd be funny too.
Yeah, we'll do some behind the scenes punching.
Nice.
All right, mate.
All
Take
right.
care
Good to
anyway.
chat. Speak to you later.
See you later.